I've tried recording this multiple times, and I don't know which of my followers will hate me for this, and honestly, I don't care. I own guns, and I have a permit to conceal carry firearms. And I would happily give them all up if it meant that something like today never happens again.
He's right. We shouldn't be having this conversation time and time again. What happened was tragic, and it's frustrating that nothing has been done to prevent it from happening again. And notice how neither him nor I have specified what we're talking about, but you already know. One specific shooting comes to mind. And what's even more frustrating than that is there's a mass shooting almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day. There's been more mass shootings already this year than days, and this is a trend that has been going on for years now. But when you look at the rest of the world, you don't see those same statistics. That's very frustrating. It's heartbreaking. And there are families here grieving the loss of loved ones that shouldn't be in that situation. Their families, their friends, their sons, their daughters. Those people should still be with them. But we can't because there's obstructionists in Congress. And there's people who oppose common sense measures like background checks, waiting periods, limits on the type of guns you can get. And notice how he says, as a gun owner, as someone who has a concealed carry permit, he'd be willing to give them all up if that ensured that none of this would ever happen again. He's not alone in saying that. I was in Texas last week, and I had a conversation with someone who was a lifelong conservative. When we first started talking, he asked what I did. I kind of danced around it because you never know who you're talking to, especially in Texas. And when he found out I worked in the political world, he said, "Oh, do you work on gun rights?" I kind of took a step back and just froze for a second. This was a couple days after the Uvalde shooting. I didn't know where he stood on the issue. He kind of smiled and he said, "Please tell me you don't work on gun rights." And I said, "No." He said, "I voted straight down the ticket conservative my whole life. I have guns, but I would be willing to give them all up, easily, no questions asked, if it would guarantee this would never happen again."
My kids shouldn't be afraid to go to school. A teacher shouldn't be terrified about someday maybe protecting their students from a shooter. Something has to happen right now. Right now. And if you're the person who is against background checks, you know something about your own background, and you shouldn't have a gun. Simple as that.
And these people are not unique. There are plenty of people who feel that way because they realize at the end of the day, their hobby doesn't supersede the life and safety of people around them. That's a pretty normal reaction to a wave of tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. These things are preventable. Gun violence is ultimately preventable. We are a total outlier among the rest of the world. Mass shootings shouldn't be a partisan issue, but Republicans are making it so. We shouldn't have to fight to implement common sense reforms, but here we are. And time again, it goes back to money and politics. You see people in Congress saying, "Oh, well, we didn't ban airplanes after 9/11. We have a massive, convoluted security theater you have to engage in to board a plane. And you can't bring a gun in the cabin of a plane. You have to check it if you want to travel with it." Another conservative today said that prayer in schools would ultimately stop mass shootings. That's patently ludicrous. You're not going to stop bullets with prayer. And I can't believe I'm even trying to rationalize this or make sense of it, but just look at countries where a majority of the population isn't religious or are atheist. They don't have the same type of gun violence problem there. So when you're looking at something so objectively horrible, whether it's the shooting in Buffalo, the many shootings all over the country, or the shooting in Uvalde, any reasonable person will see that and think, okay, having a gun really isn't worth it. Happily give it up. I'll find a new hobby if it means that never happens again. But because of the money flowing into Republican campaigns from the gun lobby, the gun industry, the NRA, and other special interest groups that advocate for gun purchases, we can't get there. And that's just really sad.